Everybody, welcome in. I'm WCA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. We are cutting in here, streaming with you here online to give you an update about a very large field fire that has developed near the Ogden area. Okay, what you're seeing here behind me is the picture of that. And you can see off in the distance there, the interstate. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey is out there right now. A very large fire has developed here. We're just getting a bunch of people that are just now hopping on, so I'm going to give it a few more seconds here before I have Jacob give his live report. But he is in the storm tracker out there. That fire, again, really getting out of control on what has been a very windy day. A day, obviously, we've been kind of fearing that something like this may happen. And again, you can see that smoke that's coming across. So again, as people are hopping in here on with us, I will go ahead and send things over to Jacob now, who is out there on the scene, again, just south of Ogden. And Jacob, the pictures there, man, look at the interstate as traffic's trying to make its way through. This is a very large fire. Tell us what you are seeing and just how big this thing is.
Hey Kevin, we are on the northeast side of Ogden here. There's been some sort of either something just burned up very quickly. That big plume of black smoke just blew up very fast. We know there is traffic on the interstate in that smoke at this time. The interstate traffic got stopped pretty quickly. We saw the flames approaching. You can see now fire crews are up on that scene. They are overwhelmed right now. There is a call for as many folks as they can get here. You can see one of the folks that are on this fire there. You can see we've seen fire trucks rolling up. They are coming from all over the county. This is going to be a fire that burns for a long time here, and based on the smoke. And so it does appear to me that the flames are either right up to I-74 or perhaps have crossed north of I-74 and are continuing to burn to the north there. So that's something that we're watching, and you can kind of see some of that black smoke here. You know, those fire trucks, they're turning around the interstate there, and wow, there's some flames in there, I think you can see as well. They're turning around, and there's some traffic heading westbound, but that traffic has been in that smoke. There's other traffic eastbound. State police are on scene, multiple fire departments on scene, aero ambulance, car ambulance. There's going to be fire departments from a large area on scene here. I-74 should be considered closed until further notice. Also, US 150 should be considered closed until further notice. I will say the fire is just east of Ogden, and I think that keeps Ogden in the clear, but there's a number of farms, a number of little residential areas over there that we will be concerned for. And while we've been looking closely at the smoke, Kevin, look at that plume of smoke as it continues off into the distance. When we first got the report of this fire here, it carried it off very quickly to the north because of that wind. There goes Ogden Fire right now. They are heading out to that scene, and it's an all-hands-on-deck situation here, Kevin. There are folks in town directing traffic. There are folks in town who are jumping in to assist. Farmers are heading in to assist as well as these flames continue to burn here. And where I'm at, Kevin, I am behind the fire. I can smell smoke. From here, I'm probably a mile back from this as traffic now is stopped on I-70 there. I-75 is, you can see all that semi-traffic. We've seen vehicles turning around on the interstate there, so they are heading out to fight this fire in just awful conditions here. Let's hope, Kevin, that they can get their hands on this fire. And I'll say this, while this is one fire that is happening, I've caught word of a few other fires in the area. There was an earlier fire down southwest of Arthur that was contained pretty quickly. Crews got a jump on that. There's also an active fire in the Chenoa area and others in Livingston County because of the dry and windy conditions. And this is going to be a long afternoon and potentially a long evening and night for firefighters here to the east of Ogden. Kevin, that's my report. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump.
Okay, we lost his signal there just for a second. Yep. No, yeah, go ahead. I think I was hearing you talk about kind of changing your vantage point there. I'll let you go ahead and do your thing for right now. We'll keep your shot up there. And again, guys, so we've got Jacob out there. I wanted to show something else because just to give a point of reference as to kind of where this is located. And so what I'm going to do is show you guys the map of this, okay, where all of this is located. And so this is Ogden right here. Now you can see along the interstate, you see where the red color is showing up. So here's Ogden, okay? You got Ogden right here. And so the interstate here, even parts of 150 that are covered up here because, again, this is a massive fire that is out there. And so it is coming across, again, just east of town, it looks like. So probably in the field there, just kind of south and east of Ogden there and near 150 in that area. But it's right there. So again, a very large field fire is ongoing as we speak in just near the Ogden area here. So you need to be definitely, heating things if you're over that way. Crews are on scene, as Jacob was just kind of mentioning there. We have got a lot of folks that are out there with us. I know there's a lot of you that are watching here on the stream. What I can also show you guys is the view from our weather camera here that looks all the way out there to the west. You can see just how much smoke is out there. I know it kind of blends in a little bit with the background, but you can see that there is even smoke that we can see from Champaign all the way there to Ogden. And Jacob, just for your reference here in a second, as you know, the news crew has been practicing for their election stuff, so they're about to do that. So I'm going to let you give me one more report that's out there and kind of show us that fire again from your vantage point. But we will probably keep your shot up, but have to relinquish control here so they can do their stuff in the studio. But so go ahead and get to the next vantage point that you want to kind of show off. And I know you're kind of coming up there. So here's his shot up in once again. It's coming across I-74 there. You can see there on your right. So he's going to be getting back on the interstate there. So this is going to be just to the east of Ogden. So when he kind of turns back there, you're going to be able to see that that fire there that has contained a very large chunk of just east of Ogden. And so when we get his shot back up, we'll show you that again. And then Jacob will let you do live report. We've got almost 1,000 people watching here on the live stream right now. So I want to give you the opportunity to get where you need to be to check things out once again. Again, very large fire that is coming across. And there again, there's his shot as he is coming in. Several departments are responding to that area. You can see the trucks that are rolling by him right now. Again, I-74 is flat out pretty much considered to be closed down right now because it's so close to the interstate there as it's coming across. So probably, and Jacob, you can let me know, is the fire as south as 150, or is the fire north of 150 between the interstate?
Yeah, Kevin, when we first came up to the scene, the fire started south of 150, and it may have started a couple of miles south of 150. There are flames now that I can see right up to Interstate 74, and I'm kind of pushed to the right there, still trying to drive up. This is something where this is reminiscent of fires that you see out in the west in the Great Plains with a pretty substantial situation here. So police is here. We've got officers from Champaign County Sheriff on scene. I do not know yet if the fire has jumped I-74 from my vantage point, but it is burning right up to it here. And we've got folks that are more than likely in these homes and farms downstream from this fire, probably evacuating. I think the sheriffs are here knocking on doors on this little these couple of farms. I've seen some of the police cars turn around here. You can see they've pulled in, and right there is one behind this farm. So more than likely they are ready to get people out as quickly as they can. All right, Kevin, I'm going to come up here about another mile, and I'm going to be able to turn to the right and get a better vantage point here. And I've got fire trucks coming in behind me here. More departments continuing to respond to the scene, and there goes right now. That's Philo. Philo has made their way over here. I know that Homer, St. Joe, Royal, Ogden are on scene, and this is a dangerous situation for folks that are on the interstate. I don't know how folks are, but there are trucks and vehicles that were in that smoky area. As this continues to unfold here now, we're going to be continuing to update. Just to give you a vantage point here, Kevin, I am 1 mile east of of Ogden there. Route 49 hits the interstate and goes over. This is going to be the Vermilion County line, actually. And you'll be able to see here as I turn to the right, we get an idea on what's going on. So there we go. It looks like the cornfield in front of me is actually on fire. The fire has crossed I-74, Kevin. The fire is over I-74 at this time and continuing to burn. It does not look like it's that much farther over, but the standing field in front of me there are corn burning on it now. Let me reset that camera real quick. My joystick's getting a little stuck there, but there is flames now over I-74 here, and you can see fire crews are pulling in. I've got another truck coming down behind me here, and so we have seen that flames have crossed I-74 at this time. I will say this, the next field ahead of this does not appear to me to be a field that would burn as easily. There's some green vegetation on it, maybe some winter wheat or something of that. But there's standing corn in front of me that I see those crews around. They're putting water on it now there, if you can see, for this fire that is now probably crossed 2 to 3 miles, Kevin, based on what I'm seeing. It's hard to see. Can you see that truck back there anymore, Kevin? I mean, they're in the smoke now.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible there. I can see that is thickening up even more. There were some people in the chat. I'm not, I can't confirm this, but they said that they're actually sounding the sirens in Fairmount, telling people to leave town. Would that make sense as to what you're kind of looking at there?
So for Fairmount, Kevin, I know Fairmount, I think they typically sound the sirens to notify the fire department, if I remember correctly.
Sure.
Some towns still sound their outdoor warning sirens. The fire is north of Fairmount. We're a little ways away from Fairmount. This is more between Ogden and Homer. Now, could there be another fire over there? I don't know that information. I know that there are several active fires. This is one that is continuing to burn here. And so that is my best assessment on that. I will say the smoke maybe has come down a little bit, but I've got 2-3 more fire trucks. Let's see where they're from here. We've got Fairmount Fire behind me. So Fairmount Fire is now on scene, which would make sense if they're calling volunteer firefighters to the scene here. This is what they would probably be coming for, Kevin.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. You can see the visibility is down to next to nothing there in that area. I-74 shut down there because of obviously visibility issues there. We're seeing the traffic backup that's happening there on 74 as a result, just basically to the Ogden exit and to the east. And so that's going to be there between, what is that? That'd be 49, right? The next exit that's up there is 49.
Yeah, that's right.
So between 49 and Ogden there is where kind of the worst of that is. You can see the fire trucks that are coming along. They're sending everybody out there, as you can see. Several departments are responding. Again, a lot of these are rural departments. Some of them are volunteer fire departments, and so they're really calling them all in for something to this size that is covering a large part of the area there. You can see even ambulance can't tell if that's an ambulance there, just another apparatus.
That's a Fairmount ambulance, Kevin.
Yeah, Fairmount ambulance is over there. Again, with the wind staying as strong as they are, this is only going to continue to potentially get worse if they don't get a hold of this. And again, Jacob, it looks like that's a field there that has not been harvested yet. So those crops are getting damaged, as because sometimes these fields have already been harvested and they can still burn but that's an unharvested field there that is on fire, correct?
Yes, that's right, Kevin. It is some standing corn. And so, a lot of harvest progress has been made here. I'm trying to think here, Kevin, real quick. I'm going to turn the camera actually a little bit. I think, let's see if I can reset this here. If this gives you an idea, pardon my camera work, you might be able to see here. Let me zoom out and get my bearings on the camera. See that right there? That's about 100 feet ahead of where the flames are right now. There may very well be embers and ash that are carrying far ahead of this there. That's in the middle of the field, and that's the green field I was thinking might be helpful from that. Looks like behind me as well, and I'm going to pull the camera off to kind of show you here. So pardon the bounciness, and hope you don't lose me. Looks like you lost me there.
Yeah, we lost you there for a second, but
we'll bring that.
Yeah, you're good.
We'll bring that back. See if we can spot. Okay, there's Sheriff's. I'm not able to get the cable far enough out yet, and I'm kind of trying to adjust things here. looks like that's not working. Farmers with tillage equipment coming in behind me as well, so I may have to move depending on what they do here. I can see the interstate. It looks like traffic may be moving slowly in the westbound lanes at this point. Let me reset that camera shot one more time for you. Pardon my.
I will say this, Jacob.
you
know, we keep track of things through our Pulse Point app, as many people do. I was just counting the number of units that were assigned over there. There's 20 units assigned to come out there. So that's a huge response there when you have 20 different units that are being sent to go out there right now. So you can imagine it is everyone, all hands on deck there to try to get that under control as to how big that fire is.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to try and get a different camera out here. I don't know if this is going to work, but I want to kind of see if I can do that here, because I might be able to give us a little bit better vantage point. All right, Kevin, are we still on me by chance, Kevin, or are we still on digital? What's our status right now, just so I'm aware?
Yeah, sorry, Jacob. No, we're still on. We're keeping your shot up there, and if you could just go ahead and continue there just for a few minutes, and I'll get back to you here in just a second.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to stick in the car then. It looks like to me, perhaps from my vantage point now, I-74 traffic is very slow in the westbound lanes and perhaps the eastbound lanes, but I would suggest that with this, perhaps what we're seeing here is perhaps crews are getting a jump on things. There was a bunch of fire trucks on the south side of the interstate. Right now, my location is 1 mile north and east of I-74 here, and this standing field may have some corn burning on it. We've seen some light puddles, a little bit of smoke in the field next to me, so we're watching for embers and things of that. But maybe at this point, there's enough units that are starting to contain this blaze here, and you can see how hazy it is up there with that smoke coming on through. But it is so windy out here that the smoke is just moving at a very quick rate is what we're looking at. So I'm going to try and move forth a little bit here. And as I do that, maybe we'll get a slightly better vantage point, a little more understanding on what's going on in the field up here. Again, kind of looking at the interstate traffic, I can make it out. It is either very slow or not. Wow, okay. So there may still be some new active flames that are going up as I see things are burning quickly here. So we still have active flames that just had to move forth to get a view around those trees there. And you can see the smoke in the distance there in this field. And so this is going to be where they're coming next as they continue to watch things. And a new flare-up in this cornfield, this standing cornfield, which means we're probably going to get a lot more activity here before long. Firefighters are in the field next to me. They're stamping out. It looks like some farmers are stamping out some of those burn spots that have picked on up. But by chance, Kevin, wow, can you see this vantage point, Kevin?
Yeah,
this is incredible video here.
Yeah.
There is embers and there is corn in the air right now, and we're getting a lot of that smoke as well coming on scene here, so we may not stick here much longer, but this is flaring up very quickly yet again, and we'll probably have to relocate before long. I do know the flames are now north of I-74. Wow, can you see? Look at all that, Kevin, all that debris coming through the air. I mean, it is burnt corn, it is burnt stubble from this fire that just flared up again here, so definitely farmers are going to have their hands full, and they are now working to protect structures. Behind me, I see them setting up for a shed. They're working to protect that shed because it is straight in the line here. To my right is, wow, this is just incredible video here, Kevin. To my right is a little forested area, wooded area. There is a barn shed behind me. They got a tanker truck ready, and this smoke is growing out of control very quickly again, Kevin. Let me send it back to you for a minute, Kevin. I need to get my bearings and figure out where I might need to go next because this fire is picking back up quickly.
Yeah.
Just stunning video that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, no, go ahead, do what you got to do there. We're sticking with this here, Jacob. So we're gonna stay on with you guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off his mic there for a second. But look at his shot there. Boy, that's coming. Boy, he's in the thick of it there. Take a look at that. He's right near where that fire is, and you can see just how close he is to that area. That field is going up right now. I mean, geez, as close as he is, I mean, I know it's not a fire NATO, but a smoke. I mean, that would look like a normal tornado. Look at the corn stalks that are coming towards him in that general direction as that fire is coming right across that field here right now. Again, this for those just tuning in, again near Ogden, and you can see the fire there that is through this unharvested field, and look at all the stalks there that are kind of coming. Right. Okay, Jacob, I see you waving there. Go ahead, bud.
Hey, firefighters are running out of the scene here. They are evacuating this road right now. They're telling us to back up. I just saw one come running down in the ambulance, and so they are moving quickly to get out because the fire is burning out of control. So we're backing up as well. Going to turn around here, but it picked up real quick there for a second, and you can see all that debris in the air. And so as I back up here, I'm going to turn around in a second, but wanted to let you know that they are now telling folks on this road here to get out of here before it gets even closer. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, perfect. Got you there, Jacob. So Jacob is now going to obviously make his way, get to a better vantage point there. But you can see just how quickly the smoke is kind of kicking up across the area. And again, you can see that that he's coming across the field, so he's having to change up his positioning. As you can see with that thick smoke that's moving through the area. Again, parts of I-74 are closed down right now. Again, that field fire, again, they're even the units that are responding, they're having to reposition their stuff as well. And you can see, wow, you can look at the sun there that's kind of peeking through. You can see the corn stalks that are kind of coming right at them as that field is continuing to burn. And boy, Jacob, he's right there. You got to make sure that you're in a safe spot there as well. But you can see it's kind of, yeah. Camera. No, your camera just went out. Camera went out. Okay, camera's out. Jacob can't see anything. There we go.
Here, we are getting out of here.
Okay, so Jacob is...
I saw the big flames. They've burned through that entire cornfield, so we are now getting out of here. They're approaching now. We're on the Vermilion County line, 1700 north, and we are on about 1 mile north of I-74 here. So the smoke is burning out of control. There's a house here. Firefighters are spraying it down here in the corner to get water on it, and they are continuing to move. So I'm going to keep going north, but the flames were so fast, Kevin. They were incredibly fast. Let me put on the rear camera for you so you can kind of see it. They burned through that standing cornfield so quickly, which was just unbelievable to see here. And in front of me now, you can back and see as we get the things adjusted here. Here comes a farmer with till equipment. They're going to come through and start tilling fields and whatnot, and there is some room between here and the next standing cornfield, but there's another big stand of cornfield about a half mile north of where things are burning now. I tell you what, God bless our farmers, Kevin. There are so many of them now heading to the scene, and it looks like another one's in the field trying to plow this one up before the fire gets here. So this is a really fast-moving scene with flames now moving to about 3/4 of a mile north of I-74 at this point, and there are so many crews that are coming on through. You can see there, he's
yeah, you can see
tearing things up now. His goal is to keep that field.
Yeah, so exactly, yeah. So like you said, there's so much that the firefighters can do there, but what those farmers can do is come out there and till that area, try to create a barrier to stop that fire from continuing to come across like it is. And so that's why there are so many other firefighters that are coming to the aid there. And again, we lost your camera there for a second there. I know you're trying to reposition and get to where you need to go, but so farmers from all over are bringing in their equipment to, again, create that line, that barrier to stop the spread of that fire from going any further. They take that thing, put that thing in the ground and rip it up and hopefully stop that. And so you can see it there, boy. Yeah, we saw you there right in the middle of it there, Jacob, and just how quick things went how quick that field went up there. It did not take long, and then again, you were right in the middle of it there, and again, you can see as they're trying to get a hold of it, but with these winds that are continuing to be at some 40, 45 miles an hour, there are still major issues out there. That is a wall of smoke near the Ogden area right now.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. We're about a mile north. I'm a half mile north of the road, and the fire is coming in close there, 3/4 to a mile. You can see that structure in the center there. That is the structure that they are going to work to contain and try and keep. I saw them spraying water on it. It looks like from where we were a minute ago, the thick smoke, and I have moved back a little bit, but they perhaps are getting some water in that field as well. I see some more trucks coming in, so they're relocating and repositioning to where these active flares are. But they are going to try and stop this fire before it can cross the road in front of me. And it is going to be, let's see, the road I'm on here, 1700 north. So their goal is to stop the fire from spreading across 1700 north. Again, I-74 should be treated as closed at this time. US 150 also should be treated as closed because of the fire in the area here. There was a standing cornfield in front of me. It flared up and burned very quickly. They may have it may have burned itself out, burned down completely, or they got some water on it, because I don't see any more of that thick brown smoke that's coming on through. But you can see those fire crews are up there, and they are organizing and getting ready to stop the fire from crossing 1700 north here, 1 mile northeast of Ogden. And so hopefully we can keep it. The problem with these fires, Kevin, oftentimes what you see is, we saw a small version of that, when you get these big fires that flare up, they send embers, they send ash, they send hot coals into the air, and they'll land somewhere and burn even more. They'll catch another field on fire and continue to advance. So you got to get ahead of it in that. The good news is this field right here to my left is pretty tilled over. There's not much vegetation on it. But I'm not sure if you're able to see, and you'll see my finger kind of right over here is a standing cornfield, and then immediately to my left is another standing cornfield. You don't want this fire to send those embers and jump all the way up here and start burning another mile down. There's a whole laundry list of farmers, it looks like, behind me that are continuing to watch this scene, and they're, I think, getting ready. You saw some of that tillage equipment coming in, and starting to see a little more smoke pick up there in front of me as well. We'll zoom in and keep you close on that, where perhaps it comes and goes. You can see the road. Look at all the debris just crossing. It is so windy out here today, Kevin.
Big time winds, and again, you get out there, especially where now the fields have been harvested. That's free, open space and land. There's nothing to block the wind in those areas that are right there. But like you said, you can just see the tree. Look at the tree there off in the distance. As it's getting kicked around pretty good. You can even see the power lines kind of moving around a little bit there. But several you can see up there. Hey, what is the corner? Do you know what's the corner of the road that you're on there? What's the intersection that you're on there? Specific county roads there.
Yes, so Kevin, I am on 1800 north and 0 east. This is the Vermilion-Champaign County line, about a half mile north of 74 that's in front of me, if that gives you a vantage point for where I'm at here.
1800 and 0. Okay, so you're just northeast of Ogden then, right? At 1800
That's right, yep.
0.
That's right, yeah. Look at I'm going to zoom in here. You can actually see the tillage equipment working through the field in the smoke, perhaps.
Yep.
Those farmers are going through and tilling there. They're working all they can to keep this from spreading. Fire trucks are staging now. That tillage equipment, they are ripping up the ground. The goal, what you're trying to do, is to basically till the soil up, and you're basically taking the vegetation and running it down. So putting it into the ground so it's not as much exposed material, and they will rip through standing corn if they have to put out the fire.
Oh yeah.
Looks like we got fire crews that are going by now, and they're repositioning now, kind of moving up. I don't see any new, oh my gosh, Kevin, the fire is a mile behind me. This fire has spread. It is now behind me, Kevin. Let me get this turned around here. Oh my gosh, we were talking about the spread here. You are not going to believe what you're about to see, Kevin.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
It has gone to that next field. Major advancement of the fire here. They are now racing to catch up. This fire has now probably burned 4, 5, 6 miles. Wow, that is not good here as this fire is now spread. It's jumped at least 1.5 miles over this field in front of me, Kevin. So new big flare up from this fire, going up. This is going to be up between...
Southeast of Royal.
Getting the idea here, 1900 and probably 2000 road there. We're not quite to Royal yet, but a new major expansion of the fire here as it continues to move to the north.
So
we're
you're
gonna head up
essentially
that way because this is where the new.
Yeah, you're essentially on the county line of Vermilion and Champaign. You're going north towards Royal. Royal would be on the left side of your screen there, and on the right side of your screen would be into Vermilion County there. Is that correct? As you're traveling north there on 0, is that right?
That is right. Yeah. So I can see the wind farm there. That's up between Paxton and down in northeastern part of the county here. There's a bunch of farmers that are positioning here. Firefighters are working through. This is, I mean, that just grew so quickly, Kevin, where, wow, you feel for what's going on here as the crews continue to maneuver and get in place. We just passed Homer Fire. They're kind of set up here. It's still burning behind me, but now this fire has jumped. And we're going to try and get up here and see what it is. I think it's the standing cornfield. Those embers went so far to where now we're up at the corner here of 1900 North coming up at County Line. And yeah, there you go. You can see some of that active flames in the standing corn there. So let me just pull over and position myself and get a shot of those flames for you, Kevin. That's standing corn. That's what it looks like. It'll go up quick. I know you lost my camera.
Yep.
There we go. You can see in there, this is what they're now having to work with and deal with is more issues like that as they're doing their best to contain it. But it spreads so quickly. It is so hard to contain the flames here. And to my right, we've got corn burning basically due right of me all the way up to the intersection here, about a half-mile stretch of it where this corn is dry, it is ready to burn, and unfortunately that is what we are seeing here with what's going on now. A new expansion of the fire in Champaign County. I think it's safe to say, Kevin, the numbers officially will be later. If the 120-acre fire was the biggest one Champaign County had seen maybe a week or so ago, it is hard to imagine that this one is not bigger already based on how many miles this has traveled here. And so that corn is now burning up pretty quickly here with flames about a half-mile south at 1900 North, now carrying off to the north and east. And what that was, Kevin, is all that ash we showed you when the fire exploded in front of us. Those embers carried on, lit this field on fire here, and that's what we're dealing with now as we continue to see this fire spread more and more. I'm gonna have to get over more. I got some tillage equipment coming in behind me and I won't get in their way. So allow me to just kind of
You're good.
cross the ditch here and
Yep.
get
You're
out
fine.
of their way. You'll see what they're doing. And
You're
there's
good.
a parade of fire trucks coming behind me too.
So technically that's to the north.
I know you're losing my camera.
You're good. So technically that is to your north and east. So that's technically in Vermilion County. Would that field be in Vermilion County then?
That is a Vermilion County field. That is correct.
Yeah.
And
you can see off in the
there's about-
distance, we've had some people
see, 1,
asking
2.
about where the wind farm is. You can see on the left part of your screen, his camera there, the wind turbines that are off in the distance, just to give you kind of some reference there. You can see those, and that's where those are located over there in Vermilion County. But that field there is going to be just north and east of Ogden now. And as Jacob was talking about, all of this as a result, most likely, of those embers being picked up, because again, winds are due south, everything going south. So this may have started, near 150, blew across that field, got over the interstate. Now it's north of I-74 and well north and east now of Ogden. And so if that would kind of continue, then you're talking about what places there, kind of a rural portion there of Vermilion County. But you're talking about east of Royal and near the Cal Ridge, wind farm there going off to the north and east. And so that's kind of his location of where he is at. As those of you are out there, we're being told that, again, that traffic is continuing to be kind of diverted off of 74 there, as I believe was the last report that we got from our reporter Amanda Brennan. I-74 westbound traffic rerouted to US 150 at exit 200, and I-74 eastbound traffic being diverted to US 150 at exit 192. Jacob there again on the scene showing us the live pictures. This is happening right now. You can see all of the different apparatuses, units that are responding out there at this time. And they're just driving out in the fields there doing what they can. But again, they can only do so much, putting water out there on some of those fields, but it's so big. Again, it does take those farmers bringing out their tillage equipment to try to get it under control. But unfortunately, Jacob, these winds aren't dying down anytime soon, and so this could continue to be an issue here through this evening. We were worried about this same scenario playing out this entire day. We've talked about it the last several days, and it is definitely coming to fruition here on this Tuesday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. So Jacob, will send it back over to you for right now and let us know what you're seeing.
Sounds good, Kevin. Just to let you know some updates here that I've gotten. The other thing is now a bunch of Vermilion County fire departments are responding to this too. There's probably 30, 40 plus trucks out here or on the way. They've just called for more reinforcements from Vermilion County because it has crossed the county line. And so now the two counties of fire trucks are going to work together. The fire departments are. Let's turn this camera back around. You can see what these crews have to do here. This one is spraying the edge of it. Now the problem here, Kevin, is we're kind of at the back edge of this. So the fire is actually burning a little bit closer to us because of what's going on here. And you can see all of the, if you see all this debris now that's kind of flying around, they are not harvesting, they are just straight up chopping up the corn, the standing corn behind me now to try and get to stop the fire from spreading. We don't know at this point how far to the east, we don't know at this point how far to the north the fire is burned. It may continue to burn in that direction and give firefighters a run for their money here as it continues to do so. You can kind of see he's spraying water now to try and get around this fire, and you can see those fire trucks that are continuing to move on through. All right, Kevin, I do know that it's 3:32 right now. Just between planning and you and I have a feeling this may be some potential wall-to-wall coverage if things continue this way at 4 or some extended coverage. If that's the case, I'm going to get reset, but kind of thinking ahead here, we're going to keep up. We've got Fithian, Muncie, Collison fire truck just rolled up. There are trucks in the field, and here you can see now coming around the corner is the farmer that is tilling to try and stop the fire from spreading. They're basically cutting the fire line and working to contain that there as this dangerous situation continues to escalate. I mean, they are working so fast here to try and keep up with this fire, and we hope that we don't see what happened moments ago happen again, where that fire jumps the line, moves another mile or two downstream, and pick up in the pace there. Also spotting the Bluegrass Fire District is here. There are pumper trucks with water. There are tanker trucks that are out here. There are field units. We've seen some of the UTVs that fire departments have. They're all responding, and they are actually, I'll put the camera behind me up, see if you can see that one. That's the front camera. There's the back one. Not working very well. Still smoke behind me from fires that are ongoing, and then they are using this barn here as a staging ground for what's going on there. So I wanted to illustrate that. And fire trucks continuing to move into the field here as they're entering. You can see now a fire truck there just came from through the smoke. This is a scene that continues to unfold. And I tell you what, Kevin, do you see the smoke that's popped up right there? I have a feeling this fire may have spread based on that new plume of smoke that just took off. I can't confirm that from my vantage point, but that is a new plume that has just taken off there in front of me, and so that's something that we're going to watch. Kevin, I lost you on ClearCom. I hope you can still hear me.
Okay,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss back to you, and then I'm going to move a little bit further down and see if we can get ahead of this fire a little more and see what's going on. So in the storm tracker here at 3:34, I can hear you now, Kevin. I hear you now. I'm in the storm tracker 3:34. I'm going to reposition and get another view of what's going on here. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and reposition, do your thing there. So again, just to give you guys, again, a little bit of an update on kind of what's going on here right now. Here about, 45 minutes ago, some of the first reports came out of a field fire that was just kind of south and maybe even just slightly south and east of Ogden there. That fire then continued to make its way to the north, skipping over I-74 and now is north of I-74 as well. Again, you can see that that fire continues to burn as those embers continue to get picked up, thrown across to the next field over, and They're doing their best. There's a lot of people out there that are responding to this. All of basically the rural fire departments there. Again, I counted some 20 different ones that were out there located there right near the Champaign-Vermilion County line. You can see how fast that smoke is moving across this county road here, as Jacob's been pretty much on that Vermilion-Champaign County line north and east of Ogden. And so the winds are really still kind of kicking up, and you can see picking up those corn stalks, blowing them. If they're burning, they get transported over to the next field. And it's unfortunate that the pattern just continues there. Jacob, are you back in a better position now, or are you okay? So I see you there. Boy, look how fast, I mean, that smoke is moving across.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, is give you a vantage point and an idea of what these 40-mile-an-hour gusts are doing. There are huge flames just to the right of the camera. I can't get them on my vantage point, but it continues to burn through this field. And I have some concerns that this is now burning further down based on what I'm seeing. I don't know how far, but the wind is so strong here that it is pushing this fire so fast. This is why we've pleaded with you to avoid burning. Now, we don't know the cause of this fire. It may have been a hot combine. It may have been a harvester, something like that. Accidents happen, things of that. But the fact that we are dealing with this situation now shows what those conditions have led to for us here, as it has. So, with that, Kevin, kind of watching this. We've got more fire trucks jumping the field in front of me now and more coming in behind. So I'm going to reposition again here. And I know you're talking with producers. I can hear you in my ear there. But we're going to go another mile up, and you kind of see how big that smoke is there. They are jumping to the next field. This is a really bad situation for us here as we continue to watch. Now we're at 1900 North and the Vermilion-Champaign County line, and we're going to cut a mile north because flames have jumped 1900 North now and are continuing to move to the north. I don't know how far, but we're going to try and get a vantage point on that here, Kevin. There's a farm that's tucked in there too. I can see an old corn crib and maybe a shed that's back there. That's going to be really concerning. That is in the direct path of this fire as it continues to burn to the north. So some sort of farmstead in the path of this, and all of that smoke is being carried to the north. I would be curious as well, Kevin, if you get a chance the next time I'm talking, I'm thinking visible satellite has to be picking up on this smoke, and I think it's probably carrying this smoke an excessive amount of distance here. This is looking more north and northeast, so in that general direction, way off in the distance, you're getting towards Hoopston and Eastlyn and Rankin and Bismarck. I bet there's folks over there that are smelling the smoke or seeing that smoke because it continues to move to the north and continues to be a problem here. So we're going to keep moving to the north. Looks like maybe it's not quite to 2000 North, but I see a lot of traffic up there. A lot of folks are maybe staging because the flames have jumped 1900 North, are not to 2000 North yet. The other thing is, I don't know if there's any NWS alerts that are issued for these types of things, Kevin. Are there any fire warnings or anything like that? We're kind of in some territory where we have not seen fire weather like this extreme in quite some time. So the dust storm warning was something new for us. You know, so far haven't heard any reports of that. I don't know if you have either, but you know, we're in some territory where about the worst case scenario is coming to reality, and that's what we're dealing with here. So I'm up to 1900 North now, and I think maybe it's 1900 North in Champaign County. I don't know if the numbers actually match up. So I thought it was at 1900 North back there, but we're gonna try and confirm that. I'm gonna cut to the east, Kevin.
Yeah.
I want to get more on the other side of the fire to give us a different vantage point. So I'm gonna move that way here. Give me a few minutes to reset, and then we'll check back into you here shortly.
Okay,
Kevin, back
that's
to you.
fine. Yep, sounds good. We're gonna switch back over here. Okay, so again, Jacob's still out in the storm tracker on this field fire that is north and east of Ogden. Okay, so again, it started there, kind of south there of town, made its way to the north, and is continuing to travel to the north. And so the smoke continues. Jacob was asking about any alerts or anything. So the Weather Service has not issued any kind of specific alert itself. The Illinois State Police. Yeah, so Jacob was talking about the semi-traffic there. So there's semis on these county roads. So they're getting diverted. I don't think they're taking the diverted area that maybe the police were hoping that they would take. But you've got a bunch of semi-trucks that are on some of these county roads. There's not something you typically see. These are not farm semis, hauling hauling grain and whatnot. These are actual semi trucks. Yeah, out-of-state license plates there. So again, county roads are going to get jumbled up here with these huge semi trucks. They are causing some issues as well. You can see that again where Jacob is traveling there as he's on those back county roads. The fields he's at there have largely been harvested. That doesn't necessarily get you out of the woods yet because there's still a lot of corn stalks there. There's still some of that vegetation that can burn, at least pick up some embers, and it's kind of continue that domino effect from field to the next field there. But a lot of people that are out there and trying to do their best to get a hold of this thing, which continues to seemingly be not fully under control just yet as it continues to travel more and more to the north. Again, good. I mean, boy, Ogden was close there for sure. And I'm just kind of looking at some other things. This can be completely unrelated, but it looks like there's a crash on I-74 just before St. Joe, and it's got I-74 eastbound really slowed down there. I don't know if people were looking at the smoke and fire and had an accident there, but it looks like there's something separate from this that is now kind of west of St. Joe, coming into the St. Joe exit there. It looks like there's an accident of some kind as I'm looking at our traffic maps. But as of right now, again, basically, you go north and east of Ogden. Jacob, have you made it to 49? Are you as far east as 49 yet?
Not yet, Kevin. I am 1 mile to the west of that. In fact, if I pan the camera, I don't have the ability to do that now, but if I were to pan the camera over, I can see all the semi-traffic going north on 49, heading up towards Rantoul, Rankin areas and things of that. And so that is kind of what's going on there. I'm going to turn here, kind of a different vantage point. There is another field that has just kind of caught fire in front of me here, and I could see more flames, so it continues to spread. It does not look like, from my vantage point, the fire has spread past my point here. The road I'm on is actually going to be 1 mile inland, and the bridge is out on here, so it's not a through route, which kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility here. But you're able to see the smoke from this fire in this vantage point as it continues to billow. Another big plume coming up. In fact, one just kind of erupting there in the end. This field in front of me is tilled over pretty good, which is good news. There's still a little bit of vegetation, but it's not standing corn. And I'm going to try and zoom in here. I'm going to have to wipe the windows out because the focus is trying to pick up on all the dust and smoke that's made it inside the vehicle here. But you can see that new plume of smoke that's just gone up there on the left side of the screen with the active fire continuing on the right side as well here. And so that is what we're going to deal with here for much longer. I can see it in the smoke. You may not in the camera, but there are farmers in tractors, tillage equipment that are continuing to move on in. They're continuing to try and cut things down there. Let me clean my inside here a little bit because it's caught some of the smoke and whatnot. So let me zoom in. You'll see there's a farmer that is cutting through that standing corn there now. You can see him working his way through there with this fire continuing to burn, and more of that corn is going up. It is so dry, it is just like tinder going up in a fire. And I am at least, I tell you what, Kevin, I am at least a mile or two away, probably closer to 2 miles, and I can see flames over the corn at this point from this fire as it continues to move to the north and east. And the concern is with this new big plume of smoke coming through is that this is going to carry embers to the next field and the next field. At what point does this stop? We don't know. Firefighters have been working hard, but it is very clear that this fire is picking up here and continuing to burn. Kevin, I need to fix a few settings on my camera at this point,
okay.
Do a little work. So I'm going to send it back to you, but I'll be sitting here for a little while longer because we'll be able to see the field burn up here, and I've got a good escape route out of here. Eventually, the road behind me, folks are not going to be able to drive in that with the smoke coming on through. Just not a great time to be traveling between Champaign and Danville here in the Ogden, St. Joe, and Fithian off to my left here, to my south and east from that. So this area is not great right now. Look at that smoke continuing to billow there, Kevin.
Yep, feel free to do what you got to do there to kind of readjust again. We're going to be with you off the top of the 4 o'clock newscast here in about 15 minutes or so. So we will be sure to check in with you here in a second as Jacob is over there doing some things with the camera. I just wanted to show you, so this is our view from our camera here in Champaign. it just looks like haziness out there. But you can almost tell kind of a distinct difference there of, the blue sky, and then it just becomes kind of gray. It's kind of tough to see, but it blends in. But you can see this from Champaign. If you look to the west, you can see that out there. So again, the fire continues to burn out here. Smoke plume extends about 25 to 30 miles on visible satellite from Ogden towards Wellington up to Hoopston. So that smoke is now getting carried all the way northward towards the Wellington and Hoopston area. This from the National Weather Service, as they're saying that they're seeing that smoke plume on the visible satellite. I'm going to see if I can't pull up a visible satellite image here and see if we can see any of that on our own views as well, because again, this is such a large area that is kind of being impacted here, and those winds are really kind of getting carried, or the embers there in the smoke it's going to keep going, because we've got 40-mile-an-hour winds that are out there. As a matter of fact, if I can pull up those current wind speeds for you, we'll throw that on the screen. And so now we're looking at currently in Champaign, as this pops up on the screen for us. Give me 1 second here. 44-mile-an-hour winds in Champaign. So that is a big issue when winds are that strong. 44 in Champaign and 40 in Mattoon as well. Are you guys ready? Okay, so give me just 1 second, guys. We're going to regroup with you, and we're going to keep the stream up here, and we're going to continue to show you this live view of this fire. Have a full report coming up here at 4 o'clock, but give us a second here, and we'll be right back with you here in just a few minutes.
All right, hey everyone, meteorologist Jacob Dickey here, continuing our digital coverage of this fire that burns out of control right now. I'm seeing new big plumes of smoke here in front of me. You're watching the scene live. This is going to be northeast of Ogden by about 3 miles. If you look to the left there, off in the distance, you can barely see the water tower, about the left third of the screen. But right in there, I know there's a farm there. There's a corn crib and a shed that I passed by. I have no idea what's going on with that, but it is where that heavy smoke is, and some of this big, thick smoke billowing up is likely that standing corn that's been around that there. Some good news, perhaps, for the most part, it looks like down towards the Ogden area, looks like more down there. Perhaps the fire has been contained, but the leading edge continues to advance. And the concern is here with this new batch of smoke coming through. There's full of embers. It's full of heat, full of hot ash and things like that. This will land in the new fields that are filled here. So we are hoping that this fire doesn't jump. It did it once. It jumped 1.5 miles, sent embers into a field. There is another field off to my right, and so that is something that we're going to watch to see if that continues to spread. But there are farmers in there. There are firefighters actively working to contain this blaze. And there is still a little bit of smoke and haze towards Ogden, but it seems like the back edge of the fire has been contained, and that leading edge continues to move to the north here. We moved from behind the fire to the other side here, kind of to the east side, looking down towards I-74. It does appear that I-74 is at a standstill from my vantage point, and traffic is being diverted off at 49 northbound. Traffic also is being diverted to the west of here. This is an all-hands deck-on situation for Champaign County rural firefighters, as we have a major blaze continuing to unfold, and then we've heard that there may be another crash back at St. Joseph. Unknown the cause or what that is, but likely some sort of traffic congestion that led to this series of events that has unfolded for us in eastern Champaign County. I'll look around the state. I do not see other interstate closures anywhere. This is the main spot so far here at 350. Kind of checking the Facebook messages here as well. You know, you're able to see the smoke from all over the place from this, and continuing to see the fire spread here. I know when I got on the interstate in Champaign to head this direction, I could see the smoke, and that was something that almost shocked me a little bit by how big it was, and getting up close, it has proven itself to be just as big here. I think, Kevin, maybe you're back. Are you able to take over? You're okay. So the road that I'm on here, I'm gonna tell you the road that I'm on real quick. Get kind of updated. I did cross into Vermilion County. I am just south of the intersection of 100 Road East and 2000 North Road. And when it comes to Champaign and Vermilion counties, the roads are actually offset by a mile. So Vermilion County goes a further mile south of Georgetown there. So it's 1900 in Champaign County. It's 2000 in Vermilion County here, which I thought was what I was dealing with. The road to my south, 1900 East. Yes, correct. The road to my south, 1900 East in Vermilion County, it'd be 1800 in Champaign County. There's fire trucks that are down there. There's a long line of traffic trying to get through, but they are semi trucks that we saw trying to get through. They are stopped. A fire department and police are stopping them down there as they're trying to contain the blaze here. That smoke still billowing. I'm keeping an eye behind me. I mean, the smoke plume. Why don't I just turn around real quick before I toss to you, Kevin? You'll see how far north that smoke plume goes. You said, what, 25, 30 miles? Every mile of that, as evident as can be here, as we show you there the view as this goes to the north and east. This major fire ongoing here in Champaign County. Kevin, I'll send it back to you. I might try and reposition a little bit, get set for the 4 o'clock, and we'll check back in with you soon. Yeah,
I'm going to let you get in position there. You're going to be on in about 7 or 8 minutes here. So we'll at least, I'll keep his shot up. His audio is off for now. We will, again, we're getting ready to go into our newscast here as well here in just a few minutes at 4 p.m. So those of you that are watching here online, you can tune in to WCIA here at 4 p.m. and we're going to continue that on First News at 4. Again, we've been streaming here for about an hour with this massive field fire that is ongoing and still going. We're being told that they're still asking for as many assets as they can get out there because it continues to kind of get out of control. Again, I'm just showing some of our weather cameras here that are in Champaign. You can just see look at the haziness that is like off in the distance. I know it's kind of tough to see here because it does kind of blend in here with the sky a little bit. But if you look to the east, you can definitely tell a distinct difference there from the blue sky, and then just like this settling of dust that is in the lower, a few hundred feet there off of the ground. So again, continuing to monitor things here closely. You can see Jacob shot there as they are out. The haze there through the sun that continues to show up. You can see that we're definitely looking at, still a major issue out there as firefighters are on scene. Those tanker trucks that are trying to bring water out there, that you can see right there as they're trying to till that field to basically create kind of a fire break there, hopefully, to prevent that fire from spreading any further. Again, we're about 5 minutes away from our newscast here. I encourage you guys to hop on to our live stream, to WCIA, whether it is on television there. We're going to be on there broadcasting here in just a few minutes, and that's where you can get kind of a full breakdown of everything. When we get into the newscast, we kind of lose the same ability to do the streaming stuff here, but we can do it from a better production value, essentially. And so we're going to give you that feed on here. So I'm going to be switching over to that here in just a few minutes, and you're going to either you can watch us on TV or continue to watch us here on the stream. Be sure to share this live feed with your friends and family, especially if you live anywhere in the Champaign-Vermilion County area, so they kind of know, because again, traffic is backed up. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at some big time, maybe some closures or something that's going on I-74 now. Eastbound, yeah, there's some activity. It looks like a crash that's west of St. Joe. And so anywhere between, boy, you get east of Champaign-Urbana, you get to St. Joe, and it is super backed up. And that stretches all the way east of Ogden now, basically to Fithian. So from the Fithian, basically from Fithian there, that exit that goes north on 49 that stretches all the way back a couple miles west of St. Joe, I-74 is pretty much shut down or kind of at a standstill there in a lot of little areas. So that's kind of what we're looking at here right now. Again, we're a couple minutes away from kicking things off here with WCA3 First News at 4. I-74 is closed down. They're trying to reroute some of the traffic there. 74 eastbound at milepost 196. Traffic's being diverted eastbound to milepost 192 to try to get on to 150 there. And so you should definitely be using caution when traveling in this area as this large field fire continues to spread off to the north. So we're getting ready for that here. Okay, guys, again, we're just a few minutes away here to WCIA First News at 4. Again, unknown on causes of this yet. I've not heard if this was a combine. I've not heard, if this was something specific. It doesn't take much in scenarios like this with how dry things are, with how windy things are. It doesn't take much. So, unclear as to the cause yet. They'll have to determine that later, but it is something that we will continue to check out. Again, you can see Jacob there as he's trying to clear off the windshield there because he's been through some of that smoke and whatnot. And so again, we are just about a minute or so away from the news here at 4. You may see us briefly dip to black for a second, but we're going to be switching things over to basically our production feed online. So we will be back with you here in just a moment as we bring you our live broadcast here at 4 o'clock as we continue to bring you the latest on these field fires. Hopefully everybody that's tuned in here on the live stream still with us and will stick with us here. Just trying to get out as much information as we can regarding this as we are live on the scene in the storm tracker. Okay, guys, we'll be back here in just about less than a minute or so with much more coverage. Again, you can tune in on television as well as the 4 p.m. newscast about to start. We're told traffic is really a mess out there, and we'll have more with that when we come back here in just a few. So stick with us.
This is your WCIA3 forecast first, sponsored by Route 66 Solar.
We're looking at a live view of a massive field fire that has developed here this afternoon northeast of Ogden. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey is on scene. We'll have a live report coming up from him in just a moment. We can actually see some of that smoke off in the distance here, even just from Champaign, sitting low on the horizon as that field fire developed a little bit before 3 p.m. and continues to travel north as a result of really strong winds. Look at these winds that are gusting 43 miles an hour. We've been talking about the warnings with this and how this was going to be an issue today with red flag warnings that are still in effect here tonight. The fire issues are not it's really starting to get out of control in some areas, and it's not over yet as these red flag warnings are continuing. Again, we're going to have a live report with Jacob Dickey coming up, assessing the situation, letting us know the very latest on this fire right near the Champaign-Vermilion County line. It's with WCA3 First News at 4 that starts right now.
Strong winds like that and dry weather is strengthening a big field fire in Ogden right now. Parts of central Illinois are under 2 weather warnings. Dust storms are also a big concern. Good afternoon and welcome to First News at 4. I'm Karina Rubio. Conditions like these can cause those things to intensify quickly. Let's go back to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy, who's been tracking this. Kevin, give us an update.
All right, so again, as we mentioned before, a little bit before 3 o'clock, we got notification that there might be a field fire that started to develop north and east of Ogden. And we have been on the scene pretty much since the start of this in the storm tracker. I want to go to meteorologist Jacob Dickey. That is his live shot right now in the storm tracker. And Jacob, you're out there. The view that you're showing us right now, as you can see, that smoke is just off there to the left of your screen. Tell us about what you're seeing right now and where you're located.
Yeah, Kevin, so when we started out here about 2:30 headed this way, the fire was about a mile south and east of Ogden. We're now 3 miles north and east of Ogden here, and this fire continues to spread. I'll turn the camera back around. There is still some smoke. It looks like in the last 15-20 minutes, maybe firefighters have gotten a good jump on this. The concern is, though, we saw this happen about 45 minutes ago. It looked like they were able to control things a little bit on the scene, but the embers and the wind continued to carry to the north and to the east, and that helped to spread this fire even more. And so that's something that we're watching here. You can kind of see, I'll zoom in to some of those tractors that are out there. There is still smoke, but we're seeing a lot better vantage point of this as multiple fire departments continue to fight here. A lot of crews, you can see here, they're pulling tractors with tillers on them to till the ground up. The goal is to basically build a fire break to keep it from spreading. But as I turn here in front of me, you'll see the wind, see all that debris blowing across the road. When one of these standing cornfields go up, it is then taking embers, it is taking ash, it is taking pieces of burning corn stalks here and blowing them over. So far, Kevin, to my left, about a half mile, there's another standing cornfield over there. I don't see another fire building yet there, but that happened before, and that's the concern now. A lot of fire crews now coming to my location on 2000 North and in Vermilion County here, just east of the Vermilion County line. You can see pumper trucks, there's brush trucks coming in. There are departments from all over Champaign and Vermilion County that are coming in here. And I do see another plume of smoke straight to my right, probably going up. I would estimate that to be about 3/4 of a mile away. This fire has spread for a good 3, 4, 5 miles, and that is still something that continues to burn. You can see more fire trucks going by there in this scene as they have called in a lot of reinforcements. That's bluegrass fire with the pumper truck going by. More trucks now converging on the scene here with farmers now trying to get ahead of this. Maybe they've caught some ground. It's a game here where you get the lead and then you lose it a little bit, you get it a little bit more back and forth, and that continues to be what happens in these scenarios. Right now maybe we got the upper hand, but that doesn't mean it will last because the wind is so...
So a couple of things there, Jacob, and we'll come back to me as we lost your signal there for a second. I just wanted to kind of show exactly kind of where he's at, and first off, how this traffic There's a couple different things here. I think there possibly was an accident along I-74. So see the red area here? So this is 74 right here, okay? So it is backed up quite a bit here, west of St. Joe. That's not where the fire was, okay? The fire actually started right about here, south and east of Ogden, started traveling again to the north because winds are blowing from south to north. So you can see where traffic here has been basically, backed up. They've been diverting people there off of 74 to get onto 150 because the fire spread over I-74 and went northward. You see how there are still some of these yellow areas right through here? That's 49, okay, that is the exit there just after Ogden that goes to the north, the 50th exit there. And so this is where essentially south and east of Royal, where those fires are still ongoing, okay? Because what's happening is everything's blowing to the north, okay? And so those embers are getting picked up, thrown to the north even more. But again, that fire first started down here just kind of south and east of Ogden, and you can still see there are a lot of issues here. Look at the traffic here along 74. The red color means traffic is really backed up and even kind of closed down. That exit is right there. So again, that's what we're kind of looking at with this. And I just want to make mention about something else here, and just bear with me here for a second because I want to show we actually have, this just came into us here of potentially another fire that has started, and this is going to be up near south and west of Crescent City. We've got some indications that there might be another fire that's east of Onarga, south and west of Crescent City that's currently going up, north and west of Woodworth. So we actually have satellite imagery that is really good. And this is how we got tipped off by the other one earlier, satellite imagery that will show us that we have got another fire potentially that has occurred up here. So you can see this one that's right there, that's circled, and then the other one that's down here, okay, that we also have, that satellite imagery is picking up. So it kind of gives you an idea of where those field fires have been here. Jacob, I think you're back with us here. We're going to let you jump in there with this once again, as again, we'll have your shot up there. Jacob, what are you seeing there? And does it look like those farmers, they're tilling there to try to basically create a fire break so that fire doesn't continue? But you can see just how windy it is with those corn stalks blowing around. Okay, so we don't have his audio there right now, but we've got to we can just go ahead and keep his shot up. I can talk over his shot there as again that field fire continues. Again, this is going to be north and east of Ogden. This does start to really get into a lot of fields there. As far as any towns itself, again, this is going to be north and west of Royal. Or I should say, Royal is northwest of where this fire is. As of right now, not seeing anything getting up there into any towns itself. The next kind of closest town to any of this is going to be like the Collison area. That's going to be something. Well to the north of that is the Armstrong-Potomac area. But you can see there, we've got Jacob's audio back with us. Again, Jacob, just go and talk to us what you're seeing there right now with those farmers.
Yeah, Kevin, I think we've made some good headway on this fire. Now, I still see some smoke to the right. I don't think I can turn the camera far enough. You can see some new flare-ups trying to go up, but there's enough crews out here that they might be getting a jump on this, which is some good news. And the farmers are the heroes of this as well. The firefighters and the farmers. So many farmers had tractors ready for a day like today. They hitched tillage equipment up, and they're out tearing up these fields. The goal is you're trying to eliminate or lessen the amount of dry and dead vegetation that's in place. You're trying to throw it under the soil, and that's what they're doing out there. The smoke has come down a lot from this fire, but I know later tonight we're going to have more of that video if you missed it with what's been going on. And the other good news from what I can tell here, Kevin, I know you lost my camera again. It'll pop back in and out. Sometimes it just does that with that. In front of me, not nearly as much smoke. And to my left, I don't see any new ignitions, which is good news. There is a standing cornfield about a half a mile to my left. That'll be to the north. And we had an issue where it seemed like maybe we were getting ahead of it. And then the embers carried to the next field. And they lit that next field on fire. Look at the debris going across the road here. Look at how windy it is out here. The conditions are not good on a day like today for these fire weather potential. It has come to fruition. Still seeing some pockets of smoke to my right as I look back towards Ogden. This fire started southeast of Ogden, and we're now about 3 miles north of town here, with those fire crews continuing to try and stop it every mile after mile and get ahead of it in the fields there. So that's my report from here, Kevin. I'll try and readjust a little bit. I got a little spot I think I can go, but I tell you what, the other thing, you were talking about traffic. There is so much traffic that I can see backed up on 49. That's about a mile ahead of me or so, and then there's a lot of traffic as well being diverted on the interstate that I can see. At one point, there was thick smoke and flames on the interstate with traffic right there next to it. And so we watched that unfold on our digital stream as we started this afternoon around 3 o'clock or so, and we've been continuing to bring this coverage for you. Let's hope, Kevin, there's not more fires like we've had today here in eastern Champaign and western Vermilion County. Live in the Storm Tracker northeast of Ogden, I'm Jacob Dickey. Kevin, I'll send it back to you.
All right, so Jacob's going to stay on top of that. Again, just another recap here of where kind of traffic is backed up. If you've got friends and family that are out there, 74 eastbound, especially from the St. Joe area, that could be unrelated to possibly a traffic accident, but the area where this fire started again, down here near Ogden, okay, and then continue to lift off there to the north. You can see all the traffic there that is on 49. See the backed up traffic there that is on 49, the 50 and exit there. So again, all along there is where traffic is still either at a standstill. Again, we're still watching his live shots there as the farmers try to get out there in those fields. And we'll just say this, again, there could be additional fires that are forming. We talked about the one up into Iroquois County because it is still just so windy. And again, if you look anywhere off to the north and east of Champaign, you're going to see a low layer of smoke that is kind of sitting there. And we're going to continue updated on this here. If any more of those fires get start to kind of ramp up once again, and that's the nature of this with 40-mile-an-hour winds, these winds aren't dying down anytime soon. So we're not out of the woods yet. We may do this again tomorrow, Karina. That could be a bigger issue for us as well as those winds stay up. We don't get rain in here until very late tomorrow night and into Thursday. So we're under the gun here. So please don't do any burning. And again, we don't know the cause of this yet. We don't know if this was, started from a combine. We don't know any of those details yet. This literally happened about an hour and a half ago as it kicked up. We'll try to, decipher what that was. But regardless, farmers are out there, first responders, firefighters doing what they can to help control this to the best of their abilities. We hope the best for them and hope they can get things under control. We'll continue to keep you updated. We'll check back in with Jacob if he has any other further reports. But for right now, we'll send it back to the rest of our news coverage here as we go throughout the course of this afternoon.
All right, Kevin, thank you. And as people get ready for Halloween, the Ford County EMA is sharing some tips to prevent fires during the holiday. They say more than 800 house fires were started because of decorations between 2018 and 2022. Experts say homeowners should use battery-powered candles instead of real ones, keep dried flowers, corn stalks, and crepe paper away from open flames and other heat sources. They also suggest keeping all exits clear. And Illinois Attorney General Kwame Warul says parents and guardians should look at the state's sex offender registry to help keep their children safe. Illinois law does not let any child sex offenders hand out candy during trick-or-treating hours or participate in other Halloween events with children. There are more than 34,000 registered sex offenders on Illinois State Police's registry. We have a link to that on WCIA.com. The Champaign County State's Attorney is investigating a
Okay, those of you that are watching on the live stream here, just so you know, we're repositioning Jacob and we're actually sending him off to the north into Iroquois County to check out another fire that's up there between Crescent City and Onarga. So we're going to let him get up there. I'll keep the stream going because I know there's still a lot of you that are watching, and I'm just going to turn on our newscast for right now because we're going to do another hit here coming up here in just a little bit to talk about the weather, and we're going to re-rack some of the video that Jacob had when he was on that initial fire there in Ogden when he was right kind of in the thick of it. So that's going to be coming up. So again, some of you are watching on the live stream. Again, this is kind of, it's a fluid situation. We're trying to do a newscast, while we're trying to do our streaming on social. We're in the middle of both. We're in the same place that we do all of that. So you're going to see kind of portions of this kind of come in and out. Again, you can still see off in the distance just that smoke plume that's out there east of Champaign-Urbana. So again, I'm just going to switch this feed essentially over to our first news at 4, basically the live feed, the feed that comes straight from the control room. And so you're going to get a little bit of news in there, but then we do have another weather hit that's coming up here in just a little bit. Again, Jacob is on his way up into Iroquois County to check out the next fire that's up there and assess the situation for those that are up that way. Again, just an FYI, we possibly heard of an accident on Homer Catlin Road from not too long ago. Unclear 100% what is, but there on Catlin Homer Road, about a mile east of Homer, possibly an accident there that may have involved a semi and another vehicle. So something we're trying to confirm with that, but just something to kind of throw out there with you as well. In the meantime, I'm going to switch things over to our feed from the control room as you're going to watch the rest of our 4 o'clock newscast. So thanks for hanging out here with us, guys.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 First News at 4.
A major bank is seeking a payback after an ATM glitch allowed scammers to cash in for days. The glitch spread on social media, and now the bank is heading to court to get that money back. Andrew Deinberg explains.
This morning, a lesson from JP Morgan Chase. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
This is why I think it's really important that you don't believe everything you see on the internet. There's no such thing as free money.
In late August, some Chase customers were able to withdraw money from ATMs by writing fraudulent checks to themselves, then immediately withdrawing cash before the checks bounced. Typically, only a fraction of a check's value is immediately available until the check clears, but a glitch at Chase allowed customers to withdraw much larger amounts in that time. Taking advantage of the glitch, which quickly went viral on social media, was essentially check fraud. And now the bank is taking legal action, suing 4 customers for a total of $662,000. In one case, a Houston man, over a 2-day period, was able to withdraw most of a $335,000 check, which later bounced. The bank says he still owes more than $290,000.
Chase was pretty on top of it. Within a day, it was all fixed, and people that were doing this were seeing big holds on their accounts or huge negative balances. Bank errors in your favor are almost never in your favor.
In court documents, the bank saying fraud is a crime that impacts everyone and undermines trust in the banking system. Chase takes its responsibility to combat fraud seriously. In addition to returning the funds, Chase is demanding the defendants cover the bank's legal fees and other expenses related to the glitch.
What would happen if skeletons could talk? Still ahead on First News at 4, we'll take you inside a new exhibit, giving you tales of the past. We'll be right back.
First News continues here on WCIA3, your local news leader.
Artificial intelligence is bringing animals back to life in a unique experiment. Tina Kraus shows us what it's all about.
In a museum full of skeletons, you might wonder,
hello, how are you?
Who's he talking to? After all, the last time a dodo was seen alive was nearly 400 years ago. But artificial intelligence has given this one new life.
Reviving the dodo is a thought-provoking notion.
Researchers in Cambridge, England are aiming to deepen our ties to nature through face-to-face chats with long-lost creatures. The conversation starts by scanning a QR code.
They can have an actual conversation with an animal, with a specimen, and that, I think, brings it to life in a really different way than a normal museum exhibit might.
Fellow creatures.
AI is giving a voice to 13 specimens, including a narwhal, a butterfly, a fin whale, and even a cockroach. And these smart skeletons know more than just the facts. They come with personalities, too.
You could ask it, how its day was, what it had for breakfast. You can have a proper conversation. What do you think about humans?
Humans, a curious bunch indeed. Your fascination with nature's quirks, like me, can spark important conversations about biodiversity and conservation.
Jack, welcome back.
Museum directors hope giving visitors a playful, personalized approach will ignite a passion for preservation. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
If you didn't know, today is National Cat Day. Ted Linder shares a couple of fun facts about the furry felines.
Today marks National Cat Day, and with more than 45 million American households owning pet cats, it's time to bring a little festivity to these felines.
There are about 360 million pet cats in the world. I think that's a great underestimation. I would suspect that probably it's much closer to 750 million around the world.
So how did early cats become the modern-day furry friends we have today?
Cats were thought to be domesticated around 3,000 years ago in East Africa. And we say domesticated because cats really aren't completely domesticated. That's what some people love about them. They love seeing a little bit of the jungle in their living room.
But while they're known to be fiercely independent, there's possible signs that you and your cat may share a special bond.
They only meow to human beings, so if they meow to you, they have that communication with you.
Their eyes can also be a dead giveaway.
Cats also, between each other, will slow blink. And by slow blinking, it tells other cats that they have trust and affection in that other cat. And so some cat owners will slow blink with their cat. If their cat is looking at them, they'll blink slowly and watch for the same response from the cat.
And if you've ever wondered why your cat sometimes looks like it's kneading bread.
Certainly cats, when they make biscuits and they're doing this kind of thing, that's part of the residue from the wild where they were making their bedding.
Meanwhile, with Halloween right around the corner, vets are shutting down age-old rumors that black cats are bad luck.
Black cats are wonderful cats. They're not unlucky. They have this myth about them.
Strong winds and dry conditions are causing weather warnings across central Illinois. Coming up, Kevin has another check of your forecast, along with an update on field fires that is carrying smoke throughout the area. We'll be right back.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
Okay, so this is a video that we have re-racked from earlier when Jacob was over near Ogden. Just take a look at this. We were right there. Again, this was just to the north and east of Ogden, and you can see the smoke there from the field fire that's just off in the distance. Okay, there's a field right back there that you can barely see, and then look at the ashes. Look at the basically those corn stalks that are blowing right into where Jacob was there in the storm tracker earlier. He mentioned, he goes, "Wow, that spread really quick. I got to reposition. I've got to move because of where he was at." But look at that. This was again at about 3 o'clock earlier near Ogden. You can see on the video there, you're shooting all the firefighters that are out there, first responders, the volunteer firefighters. Look at everything blowing across the road there earlier, and that is the issue. Things are getting picked up by this wind, and so really a bad deal out there. Looks like things may have gotten a little bit more under control. We're going to check in with Jacob here in just a little bit, but let's kind of switch back over to our graphics here. And you can still see that plume of smoke east of Champaign and Urbana. I mean, that's still actually showing up out there here this afternoon. It is warm and it is still really windy out there. Again, no rain yet to, settle this down, so we continue to have some issues out there. Again, so Jacob's been out in the storm tracker traveling back to the north towards another fire that is actually located here. Basically, so you've got Crescent City up here. This is Onarga, and some satellite imagery here that is showing potentially another fire. If we can just pull up those pictures that we got sent into us from one of our viewers there, and maybe if this fire towards the Crescent City Onarga area, have you heard anything? What do you know?
Yeah, Kevin, I got my main camera down, so you're seeing my dash cam here at this point. We did talk to the National Weather Service briefly. They said they had spotted on their satellites as well. They did note that perhaps the intensity of that fire spot has come down a little bit. So we're going to get there and see what's going on. But there was another big blaze, another smoke plume visible on radar coming from that area. We'll be there in about 15 minutes, I think, or at least getting close and getting an idea of more what's coming on. I'm about halfway between Rankin and Cissna Park at this time, moving off to the north. We'll have another update for you coming up at 5 o'clock. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Jacob. In the storm tracker here, this is the issue. Winds 40, 45 miles an hour. Red flag warnings continue. We've got the perfect ingredients. A moderate drought, 40 mile an hour winds, super low humidity values in the 25 to 30% range. Quickly here, relief coming in the form of some rain, but not until Wednesday night. We may do this all over again tomorrow. Similar conditions, because this doesn't get in here until very early on Thursday morning, and we are going to have to watch out for maybe even a strong storm, a marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center. 7-day forecast here, rain and storms into early on your Halloween. You've got Friday there, sunshine, and again, don't forget we're going to be turning those clocks back as we head into the upcoming weekend here. So again, Karina, we have continued to see, some issues with these field fires and whatnot, and the winds that are out there causing some big time problems here this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an update on that throughout the 5 and 6, so make sure you stick with us. We'll be right back after this. All right, Kevin, it has been a busy 4 o'clock hour here. Jacob is moving to Onarga now, Iroquois County. What's going on?
Heading up that way, and he just got a report potentially of another fire in northeastern Iroquois County. It's going to be up near Donovan now. And everything makes sense because everything is basically kind of traveling from south to north. The winds are going south to north, so if something starts at one point to the south, everything to the north is essentially under the gun. If any of those embers and whatnot get into another field. Here's your 7-day forecast. We did not get to spend a lot of time on this as we've been focusing on the fires out there. But we're not out of the woods because this could be a similar issue again tomorrow. With more wind, that rain doesn't move in until after midnight. We could see some storms overnight and into your Halloween on Thursday. Good news is for the trick-or-treaters, the rain should clear out by the time you get into Thursday night. And don't forget about daylight saving coming up this weekend.
All right, let's turn it over to Jennifer and Brandon. What is next at 5?
The fire chief in Gifford wants everyone to stay safe, how he's making sure they have a working smoke alarm.
Those stories and more, stay with us.
This is your WCIA3 forecast first, sponsored by Route 66 Solar.
Major fire issues here this afternoon have developed into parts of central Illinois. We've been tracking a few different fires out there. As a matter of fact, you can actually see still the smoke off in the distance, even here in the Champaign-Urbana area, as a fire developed near the Ogden area. As a result, and thanks to strong winds like this that are gusting still at this hour over 40 miles per hour, 41 in Champaign, 38 in Decatur right now. Again, these wind speeds are strong all across the state and coming out of the south, and we don't have any break here anytime soon. Rain is still well off to our west. Eventually, rain is going to move in here. We've got some issues out there. We've got the latest on these fires that are still ongoing in a few spots when we come back as WCA3 News starts right now.
Breaking news in Champaign County, dry and windy conditions were the perfect fuel to ignite a large fire. It sparked around 2:30 this afternoon and is still going.
It's now 2 miles north of I-74 with smoke carrying for 25 to 35 miles. On top of that, the National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning for a large portion of central Illinois. Our meteorologist Kevin Leidy is in our weather center. Kevin, and that is not, I guess, the only fire burning right now.
Yeah, that's right. The red flag warning again continues here. As you can see, the counties here. We had an active fire there northeast of Ogden, and now potentially another one, a couple of them possibly up into Iroquois County. So what we want to do here is, I believe we've got some video that we might be able to share with you guys from a little bit earlier when meteorologist Jacob Dickey was out in this fire northeast of Ogden. You can see, look how close he was. Now, he was telling us at the time that as he was out there, that fire spread really quick. He had to retreat pretty fast, but he was in the thick of it out there as that fire that developed just south of Ogden crossed over I-74 onto adjacent fields there, and you can see the flames there burning off in the distance. Firefighters, first responders, volunteer firefighters from all over the area responding to try to get that fire under control. Also with farmers bringing out their equipment to try to till that land, to try to create a fire break as well. But the winds obviously do a number on these fields when you get those embers picked up, those corn stalks picked up, and so several fields there did take fire on, and you can see they're still out there trying to do their best to kind of dampen the fire down here, try to get it under control. You can see it there off in the distance. I want to go over to meteorologist Jacob Dickey. There's another fire that you are heading up towards. You're now heading up into Iroquois County. Now tell us about where you're headed and what you're hearing.
Yeah, Kevin, we are now to the northwest of Crescent City, northwest of Cissna Park, heading towards Crescent City. So far right now, as we move north, I've not seen any new plumes of smoke, but we had an earlier report with plenty of photos and videos that you'll see later of a fairly large fire southwest of Crescent City between there and Onarga. I'm about 7-8 minutes from where that fire originated, so maybe they've gotten that under control. I just got a message from a viewer, though, up in Papa New that there's a combine fire there that's ongoing, and that local fire departments are now requesting mutual aid to that scene. It's likely going to be an evening where we continue to see reports of that, and again tomorrow. And so that is something that we are going to keep a very close eye on here. I'll have another report, Kevin, coming up here in just a little bit from the storm tracker as we get closer to the Crescent City area, and we may head towards that other fire in the Papa New area. Reporting in the storm tracker in Iroquois County. Kevin, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, those pictures there that we were just showing you, those are the ones from the Crescent City area. Just quickly here, I want to show you some of the traffic issues. So again, we've got some issues here along I-74, possibly unrelated, with an accident that was near St. Joe, and it's causing slowed down traffic. The fire itself started here south and east of Ogden, and you can see still issues along I-74. They're diverting traffic in that area. So kind of a mess there. I've been told that near Ogden, they're kind of getting things under control right now. But again, as these winds continue to pick up, still an issue. Again, where Jacob is headed is actually up here into Iroquois County to head up to where some of these other fires potentially are near the Crescent City and Onarga area up here. We're getting further reports. So active afternoon, and we're not done because this could happen again tomorrow. We'll have more about that coming up here in a little bit, Jennifer.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Now here's a list of active burn bans. They don't want people burning because it could spark something like that. This is not limited to, but we have all of Iroquois County, Homer, Shabans, Leroy, and Gifford.
One Central Illinois fire chief knows strong winds can only make things worse. These types of conditions can make field fires spread faster. In the past, he says some have started building fires. This month, Gifford's volunteer department is bringing back a smoke alarm distribution program. One recent study shows about 38% of home fire deaths are when there are no working smoke detectors inside. The fire chief knows that all too well. He says they save lives and his crew is ready to put in the work.
Right now we have 24 in hand. That we can go out and install. Most homes take anywhere from 6 to 10, depending on the size of the home. And our personnel will come out and install those for you.
He says this is also a reminder to check your batteries if you haven't in the last month. Illinois requires homes to have alarms with 10-year batteries. If you live within the 86 square mile of Gifford's Fire Protection District, you qualify for their free program. Details are on our website, WCIA.com. And as people get ready for Halloween, the Ford County EMA is sharing some tips to prevent fires during the holiday. More than 800 house fires were started because of decorations between 2018 and 2022. Experts say homeowners should use battery-powered candles instead of real ones. Keep dried flowers, corn stalks, or crepe paper away from open flames and other heat sources. They also suggest keeping all exits clear.
And speaking of Halloween, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul says parents and guardians should look at the state's sex offender registry to keep their children safe. Illinois law doesn't let any child sex offenders hand out candy during trick-or-treating hours or participate in other Halloween events with children. There are more than 34,000 registered sex offenders on the registry. We have a link to it on our website. Just go to WCIA.com. A man armed with a sword who led Decatur police on a chase has been sentenced to 8 years years. 36-year-old Nathaniel Sperry was driving a stolen pickup truck. Police tried to stop him at an intersection, but he sped away. The chase continued throughout the city and surrounding areas of Macon County. Nearly a half hour later, Sperry stopped, tried to get out, tried to run away. Police searched the truck and found an almost 3-foot-long blade that had been sharpened into what officers called a dangerous weapon.
$750,000 is going to improve energy efficiency in Champaign County. The Department of Housing and Urban Development provided the grant to install these solar panels at Round Barn Manor in Champaign. It's an affordable senior housing development. The grant is part of a larger program created by the Inflation Reduction Act.
The important thing here is it helps with energy resilience and independence. And so, as we add other options for obtaining energy to our grid, that really benefits the city of Champaign as a whole.
The grant is also helping inside the housing development, giving residents better LED lighting indoors.
The Illini are looking to get back to their winning ways with a home matchup against Minnesota this weekend.
Plus, how Douglas County is making sure their youth are street smart by bringing back an old program and how you can contribute to its success.
A live News Nation special. It's time to have your final say on this year's race for the White House.
Join Cuomo, O'Reilly, Smith, plus Cuban, Palin, and Kennedy. Tomorrow, only on News Nation.
To find News Nation, go to joinnn.com.
Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Brandon Morano, and Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Livey. You're watching WCIA 3 News at 5.
The Douglas County Sheriff's Office wants to keep helping kids stay substance abuse free.
But they need help themselves to update their program. It's called Drug Abuse Resistance Education, or you probably know it as DARE. It teaches kids the importance of saying no to drugs and decision making when dealing with bullying. The Sheriff's Office is looking to raise $5,000 to get new workbooks, t-shirts, and graduation certificates.
It's inefficient. We're having to photocopy the existing workbooks and things that we have and kind of staple and make those. And the print cost, because they do such bulk, is actually, it's probably more efficient for the county to order those books through them. We just have to order them. They come in orders of 100 at a time.
He says their plan is to get everything ordered by Christmas. All right, Kevin is here, and
Oh.
Yeah.
All over the place today with breaking news.
It is a lot going on. There's accidents. You can't say if that was related to people like looking, because if you were traveling eastbound on 74, you saw the smoke out there, and I'm sure a lot of people were kind of looking at that. Jacob just made it into Iroquois County, where that fire is up there near Crescent City, Onarga area. We're going to check in with him with a live report. You can see the firefighters, farmers that are out there, first responders, that, and let you know how we're not in the woods with any of this when we come back.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
40-plus mile-an-hour winds, moderate drought conditions, low humidity, all the perfect ingredients to have these fires that have occurred here today. You can see those winds are not dying down. These winds are going to be like this again tomorrow, so we're concerned about that. I want to show you guys a little more specifically where this first fire was near Ogden. So we're going to zoom down in here to the Ogden area. It was just kind of south and east of town here, and eventually went over I-74 into the adjacent fields there to the north of the interstate. Went up there south and east of Royal, kind of west of 49, right along the Champaign and Vermilion County line is where that first fire was. We showed you video off the top. A second fire, and there may even be a third one up in Iroquois County, but the one that we just sent Jacob up to, he is between Onarga and he is between Crescent City in this general area, and we're going to go to him right now. Jacob, I see flashing lights there, farmers, first responders. What can you tell us here right now with what you're seeing?
Yeah, Kevin, so for our location, we are straight east of Onarga on 1100 North Road and 1400 East Road. That's about 3 miles south of US 24 here. And what we're looking at is the scene where this fire started. You can see there, the fire has been contained here. As we look, though, you can see crews are still spraying water out there. And on scene, there's farmers that are also here that have been helping out, trying to contain this blaze as it spread. And I'm going to pull forward a little bit and give you another vantage point out in the field where those farmers have been working with firefighters, and they are still moving through the field. They want to make sure there are no hot spots. And so as I zoom in, you lost my camera there for a second. It'll be back. Zoom in there. There are the brush trucks and the pumper trucks that have been rolling through those fields and are continuing to spray water. There's another one further down. From my vantage point, it looks like this fire may have gone a couple of miles to the north here from where we are, and continues to be an active scene as far as making sure nothing significant takes off again like we saw in Champaign County. But as those crews are looking a little more relaxed here as the smoke is contained, we have received some information that there may be another fire that crews are heading to up into the northeastern part of the county, up north of Donovan. I may end up heading that way. I'm going to reach out to a few sources and find out some information on that. And perhaps the one big thing I've noticed, Kevin, down in Champaign County, there was a lot more standing corn than there was here. That's a good thing. The less standing corn, that corn is just 6 foot tall timber waiting to go. I think that helps the firefighters here perhaps get a better grasp on things compared to down in Champaign County where we've had some of that standing corn. But you can see they are starting to clear the scene a little bit here on this this evening from what the fire started about an hour and a half ago. So that's kind of the report we've got. Let's hope it's nothing like to this tomorrow, Kevin, but if it is, we'll continue bringing coverage in the studio and in the field. In the Storm Tracker, I'm Jacob Dickey in Iroquois County. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot to Jacob. I've been out there following fires from Ogden all the way up to Crescent City, Onarga area. Red flag warning in effect. I got a feeling it's going to be in effect again tomorrow. We've had those perfect ingredients, moderate drought, the winds, and low relative humidity. It's back again tomorrow. I want to briefly just talk about rain that's moving in late tomorrow night into Thursday. We're going to get some thunderstorms in here, and this is going to be around on Halloween morning. There's even the chance for maybe a strong storm or two. There is a marginal risk that is in effect there as we head into tomorrow night and early into your Thursday morning. So focusing a lot there on the fires, but there's a lot on the 7-day here. I just want to point out to you, it's still going to be windy tomorrow and dry. That's an issue. Storms come in Thursday morning. They're gone by Thursday night. So for the trick-or-treaters, you're heading out Thursday evening, you're going to be okay, but it's going to be much cooler. That 66 is deceiving because that happens early in the day, and then temperatures fall to the 50s, and it's still windy. Friday is dry for high school football. Saturday is nice for the Illini game. We're turning the clocks back Sunday morning, and then things get wet again early to start out next week. So a lot going on still. I think we could be in a similar situation tomorrow, unfortunately.
Well, let's hope not. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, but again, those winds are going to be back there again. Hopefully, even this can still happen at nighttime too, sometimes. So please.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's try to get through it again, but I think we may have to go through this one more day tomorrow. Hopefully we can escape any more fires, but we got to watch things carefully.
All right. Thank you, Kevin, so much. The Illini looking to avoid back-to-back losses for the first time this season.
Plus, they're looking to extend their win streak against the Golden Gophers to 4 straight wins, while the quarterback says he's anxious for the opportunity.
This is WCIA3 News, your local news leader.
Illinois football took its first trip to the West Coast this weekend and lost to the '1 team in the country.
But this weekend, the team is looking to leave that game in the past. Let's not think about it. It focused on getting back into the win column. WCIA3's Courtney Lane Brewer has more from Memorial Stadium.
Illinois' MO since Saturday's game at Oregon has been to come home, flush the loss, and move ahead to the next game against Minnesota. 3 days removed from the trip that seems to have played out, with this group locked in on taking on the Gophers.
Really looking forward to this Saturday. I know as we all are, and never been more, anxious and confident to go play this coming Saturday. So looking forward to it.
The Big Ten is deep this year, especially when going from the #1 team in the country to a 5-3 Minnesota team that has won 3 straight. That's why receivers coach Justin Stepp said the coaching staff is focused on teaching concepts rather than strict positions, able to adapt week to week.
We teach conceptually, we don't just teach a spot. I think that's helped those guys. And it's not just Colin. Heck, I could put Dallas Couple Jones, Kennard Wilcher can play all through. It's unbelievable. I was just talking about it. It's a good feeling as a coach to know you can put guys in there and they can play those spots.
Saturday's game will be Illinois' first 11 o'clock kick in conference play, with Coach Bielema calling for this place to be as loud as it would be during a night game. Reporting for your Illini Nation, Courtney Lane Brewer, WCIA3 Sports.
We're going to have a look at what's making headlines in central Illinois next,
including the latest on a field fire near I-74, what we know.
All right, you're looking at video from earlier this afternoon, just before 3 o'clock, as a field fire developed just to the north and east of Ogden. These are video images from the storm tracker as we were on some of the county roads out there as this fire went from one field to another. As you can see the flames there in the distance, multiple agencies on hand to try to get this fire under control. Farmers are out there trying to till some of that land as well to try to put a fire break down. But you can just see all those corn stalks blowing across and what the conditions that they were encountering trying to fight this. And you can see again the farmer out there trying to till that land. trying to stop those fires, but so many agencies out there trying to get this under control. We're told another fire potentially is ongoing in Iroquois County. Now, meteorologist Jacob Dickey, we're going to throw it to you. Let us know where you're headed and what you're hearing up in northeastern Iroquois County.
Yeah, Kevin, just got some word a little earlier about another fire north of Donovan. There was a combine harvester that may be on fire there, and so we're going to be heading that way. Just to my right is Crescent City. Crescent City and Onarga were just at the fire scene. Now they were clearing that scene, so that's good news here, but we're going to keep you covered with the latest updates on the fire weather and the fires that have been happening and are yet to come here tonight, tomorrow, and before that front arrives. In the Storm Tracker, I'm Jacob Dickey. Kevin, back to you.
All right, so Jacob will be up there at 6 o'clock with another report into northeastern Iroquois County. Let us know what he's seeing up there. Again, the winds are still really gusty. We could do this again tomorrow. We've got much more coming up tonight on the news at 6 o'clock. We hope to see you then. Stay safe.
The community is coming together to help someone with a double lung transplant next at 10. The community is coming together to help someone with a double lung transplant next at 10.
It'll be in store for more fires tomorrow. Details tonight at 10.
Tonight on WCIA3 News at 10, a Central Illinois sixth grader just underwent a double lung transplant. How the community is rallying behind him. Plus, state and gun groups have submitted their final arguments for the federal court case over Illinois' assault weapons ban. We'll break down the details.
Field fires here this afternoon causing some major issues across central Illinois. We could be in the same boat again tomorrow with more winds and dry conditions. We'll have the latest coming up tonight at 10.
Next at 10, state and gun groups have submitted their final arguments for the federal court case over Illinois' assault weapons ban. We'll break down the details next at 10.
Well, it has been an active afternoon with field fires that have gotten out of control. We're going to have live reports coming up of that, a complete recap of what took place here this afternoon. We can thank these gusty winds that have been upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour at times, still gusting to 33 in Decatur, 28 in Danville, and in Paris. The bad news is the winds typically die down at nighttime. They're not going to die down tonight, and they're going to be back up there again tomorrow with those gusty winds returning once again. We're awaiting a cold front to move through, eventually some rain, but that doesn't get here until late tomorrow night. So the wind and the mild conditions continue. Again, a complete recap of our fires here this afternoon coming up as WCA3 News starts right now.
Continue our breaking news since 4 p.m. Firefighters and farmers were battling a fire today in Champaign County, and now there are others elsewhere.
It's all while high winds and red flag warnings are in central Illinois. A field fire in Ogden, that one we just showed you, caused this stretch of I-74 to be closed. It is now open. It has been since 5 p.m. We have team coverage for you tonight. Our chief meteorologist, Kevin Lighty, is on our weather center. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey live in our storm tracker. All right, first to Jacob, there was another field fire in central Illinois, and now a possible combine fire. What do you know?
Yes, Jennifer, we reached out to the Iroquois County EMA office to learn more about a couple of fires that came from here. Some of the information, we have some video from a fire earlier south and west of Crescent City. That fire was one that burned a little area there of field. You can see the video of that up now. That fire was caused by maybe a combine. They don't know the exact cause at this time, still investigating. But once it started, it spread quickly across the field, and firefighters were able to get it under control with the help of Woodland, Milford, Gilman, and Crescent City departments there. It was not as big as the Champaign County one. That one remains the biggest one. We also know a couple of other information, a couple other fires. St. Anne Fire, Kankakee County, had a fire. They requested some help. We don't have a lot about that. It seems like maybe that fire is under control. And then there's another fire here north of Martinton that was earlier, had some help requested it, but they were able to contain that blaze. One thing to mention, Jennifer, there's a big difference in fields fire, whether it's like behind me here, this corn stubble in the ground, or Brandon as well, if it's the full field here, the tall corn that's still in place. When that field fire in Champaign County burned, that tall corn spread that much quicker. That makes a harder time to get it under control. We're going to keep you updated on this, and we may have to do this all over again tomorrow, live in the Storm Tracker in Iroquois County. I'm Jacob Dickey. Back to you.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Like we said a few moments ago, there was a field fire in Champaign County. Our chief meteorologist, Kevin Lighty, joins us again. Kevin, recap what happened there for a few hours in Ogden.
Yeah, this was the big one of the day. And just to kind of, I want to get your bearings straight to kind of show you here on our map where this was located. So you've got Ogden right here. So just kind of south and east of town in a field down there is where we think that this field fire first began. Lifted off there to the north and east, went across and hopped I-74 for a period of time there, causing visibility issues. It went to the north and east of I-74 there, along 49 south and east of Royal, north and west of the Fithian area. If we have the video from the Ogden area, we would love to be able to show that to you. Once again, take a look at this. When the storm tracker was there with Jacob, he was right on that fire. He was describing how this rapidly moved across. He was in place there and had to navigate his way out as the smoke was thickening up. You can see the corn stalks there. They're all blowing there with the wind picking all of that up, and it spread really, really fast. He said you can see some of the flames there. From fields that have not been harvested yet to fields that have. It really didn't matter because there's still a lot of that corn stalk vegetation there. And look at the winds blowing that across. We're not in the woods yet. Again, more field fires possible tomorrow with the winds. We'll talk more about that in the forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Jennifer, over to you.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. In other news, we're hearing from officials for the first time after a polling place fight in Champaign County. For weeks, we have talked to you about the national increase of violence, intimidation, and harassment surrounding elections. Over the weekend, election judges in Champaign County came face to face with that reality. WCIA3's Gabriela Mirando is live in Champaign. Gabby, what happened?
The Champaign County clerk says this is the most bizarre election he's ever worked. That comes after early voting turned violent here at the Meadowbrook Community Church in Champaign.
Children were crying. It was a very disturbing situation.
On Saturday, through these doors, chaos. Champaign County Clerk Aaron Ammon says a man went in to vote wearing a hat supporting former President Donald Trump.
Election judges informed the voter that wearing any item promoting a candidate is illegal inside the polling location and asked the voter to remove his hat.
Things only escalated from there.
He refused to and became disruptive, viewing his camera in the polling place. And there was an altercation with that voter and another voter in line.
Diane Pritchard is an election judge at Meadowbrook Community Church. She wasn't there when it happened, but heard about it right away on Monday.
He was saying he was being denied his right to vote. All they had asked was that he remove his hat. They said they were shaken up at the time, that other voters in line were shaken up.
The Brennan Center for Justice reports 70% of local election officials feel that threats have increased since 2020. State's Attorney Julia Reitz doesn't want that to happen in Champaign County.
Simply put, we want people to exercise their right to vote freely and fairly, without restriction and without drama.
Ammon says his office is working closely with law enforcement and other organizations, seeing how they can ramp up security at polling places in the future.
There's no place for violence or any form of disruption at our polling locations in Champaign County.
Champaign police did respond to the altercation, but the state's attorney says no arrests were made. The investigation is still ongoing, so she couldn't provide any more details or any reasoning as to why. She'll keep working with law enforcement as the investigation continues. For now, live in Champaign, Gabriella Mirando, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Gabriella, thank you.
A man armed with a sword who led Decatur police on a chase has been sentenced to 8 years. 36-year-old Nathaniel Sperry was driving a stolen pickup truck. The chase went throughout the city and around the county. Sperry eventually stopped, tried to run away, and was caught. He had an almost 3-foot blade in the truck. A judge recommended Sperry for drug abuse treatment. He's also been recently sentenced for crimes in Shelby and Fayette counties.
A Central Illinois Fire Department is bringing back something to help the community. They'll be keeping people safe.
Plus, wreaths are needed for fallen veterans and more in Vermilion County, what they're doing this upcoming holiday season.
All right, Kevin is back, and you really almost need to be a timeline of, okay, the fire here, the fire. I mean, it's getting a little confusing.
And listen, you could potentially, we can't confirm this, but you could connect all of those because, again, all the winds were blowing south to north. You pick up any of those embers, it doesn't matter. It's random as to which field may catch on fire, and they're all kind of moving in the same direction. The same thing could happen again tomorrow with more of this. High temperatures today that were in the lower and mid 80s, record-breaking highs in many locations. Some of the warmest temperatures we've seen this late in the year ever. We'll talk more about how tomorrow could be similar to today when we come back.
A live News Nation special. It's time to have your final say on this year's race for the White House.
Join Cuomo, O'Reilly, Smith, plus Cuban, Palin, and Kennedy. Tomorrow, only on News Nation.
To find News Nation, go to joinnn.com.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
So we're just running a time lapse here from our camera from earlier today. You can almost kind of see off in the distance the smoke that formed there, and you can see it kind of rolling across the sky. This was again looking towards the Ogden area, and then you can see again, look at that smoke, a distinct difference there between kind of the bluer skies and where some of the grays. I know it's kind of tough to see, but it was definitely obvious out there with those strong gusty winds. Temperatures here still tonight are still into the mid and upper 70s. It is warm tonight. Clouds have moved back in as well this afternoon, and still a handful of wind gusts. 33 in Decatur, 28 in Paris. They're going to come down a little bit. We were near 45-mile-an-hour winds earlier this afternoon. We're going to be probably staying in the 25 to 30-mile-per-hour range tonight, but then they're going to come back again tomorrow. Showing you once again a couple of these fires as the location where they were, kind of south and east of Ogden. Again, traveled to the north. Further fire there that went north of I-74. And then up into Iroquois County. Again, we're basically going straight due north here. So the one that could have formed between Onarga and Crescent City, kind of that same area. Again, these embers get picked up here and easily transported. I mean, this is light stuff. These corn stalks and whatnot, it's light, and they can get carried, a quarter mile away, half a mile away, set another field on fire. Red flag warning in effect here. Again, we just had the perfect ingredients of the moderate drought, the gusty winds, the low relative humidity, and guess what? This same set of ingredients comes together again tomorrow, and we could be doing this all over again. So we stress, please do not do any burning. Again, we don't know for sure the exact causes of some of these. Was it from a combine? Was it from somebody throwing out a cigarette? Was it from, any number of things, that could have occurred? We don't know. But all we know is you got to be careful out there in this type of scenario in these winds, as many of the farmers know already. But things have calmed down, at least for the time being. Well, let's talk about rain and storms that are going to move in late tomorrow night into Thursday. Much needed rain. This will definitely help the situation out quite a bit if we can get some of this rain in here. Looks like it's going to be around for the first half of Thursday, but clearing out by the time we get to Thursday night. We still think that the timeline of this is looking good for those trick-or-treaters. But the other thing I want to mention, there is the possibility of a strong storm or two with the line tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center, so we're going to be watching out for that again here in about 30 hours or so. 64, windy and warm tonight. We're back there tomorrow. I mean, it's similar. It's 82. It's gusts of 40 miles an hour and continued fire weather issues out there, so please be careful. The 66 that you see on Halloween, you may think, okay, that's not bad. Well, that actually comes early in the day. Temperatures fall back down to the 50s, so by the evening, it's going to be quite a bit cooler. It's still going to be windy. So I think you're still going to need that coat potentially for Thursday night if you're going out trick-or-treating with the kids. Friday looks good. We've got the weekend here where Saturday is okay for the Illini game, but Sunday the rain moves in. We got daylight saving time, and then we start out next week on a wet note. Again, more good news to try to put some moisture back down in those fields.
I think it's important to stress, don't burn.
Yes, that should be obvious by now. Red flag warning means please do not burn, and it'll be in effect again tomorrow as well.
All right, Kevin, thank you. The U of I is hoping to make it easier for students to go to college, the program that's now even more affordable.
And a Parkland graduate will be on the World Series diamond as an umpire. How long he's been doing his job.
Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Brandon Morano, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Livey and Glenn Kinley on sports. You're watching WCIA3 News at 6.
The U of I is expanding its Illinois Commitment Program.
It gives free tuition and fees for in-state students to make going to school affordable to low and middle income families. The threshold for those who are eligible has gone up from $67,000 to $75,000 per family income. It's effective beginning next fall. The admission application open and closes January 5th. Early action deadline is November 1st.
A Parkland College alum is making Champaign proud with a big job in the World Series. Mark Carlson has been selected as the umpire crew chief. He was a standout catcher for the Parkland Cobras baseball team back in 1987. He went on to umpire in several different leagues before reaching the majors.
It's really cool to sit down with our guys and watch the World Series Game 1 and get to say, hey, that's a Parkland alum. You're in the right spot. The things that you're going to learn here are going to translate to the professional world and get you to that highest level.
And he says another Parkland grad, Kevin Kiermaier, played for the Dodgers this season. Even though he's not on the World Series roster, if they win, he gets a ring too.
All right, so we got a watch list.
Yeah, a couple of them actually. Illinois defensive back Xavier Scott is one of just 15 players in America up for this award. And the quarterback, Luke Altmaier, he's having a pretty good year as well. We'll tell you what award he might be winning later this year if he and the Illini can finish strong. That's up next.